System! You shall die! No, you will die first!
General George Washington was one of the greatest leaders of the Revolutionary War. While serving as a general for the American Army, he became well known and well trusted by Americans, soldiers and citizens alike. He cared for his soldiers, where British leaders always wanted fame and glory for themselves.
Dear Sir, it is with great reluctance I trouble you on a subject which does not fall within your province, but it is a subject that occasions me more distress than I have felt since the commencement of the war, and which loudly demands the most zealous exertions of every person of weight and authority who is interested in the success of our affairs. Signed, why did I say signed?
Nathaniel Greene was a Revolutionary War leader. He had a good relationship with George Washington and named some of his children after Washington and his wife. He taught himself everything he needed to know and was determined. He would do anything to get what he wanted, unlike the British. General Benedict Arnold was a gray area in the war. He started out as a well-respected American leader, but committed treason by going to the British. With Americans, he was able to fight for freedom, but the English promised him fame, money, and glory, reoccurring themes in British military.
General Horatio Gates was a commander for the North until October of 1778. Then he became a commander for the South. In the Battle of Camden, Gates's men went into wild confusion. He was then replaced by General Greene. He didn't come back to active duty until 1782.
General Charles Cornwallis was a British leader. He pushed his men to the maximum to track down Washington's army. That is why he lost at Yorktown. He did not communicate to any of his fellow generals, but instead
Tarleton was lucky enough to intercept an express with letters from Greene to Lafayette, of which the enclosed are copies. By them you will see General Greene's intention of coming to the northward, and that part of the reinforcements destined for his army was stopped in consequence of my arrival here. There can be little doubt of his returning to the southward and the reinforcements proceeding to join his army. Your Excellency well knows my opinion of a defensive war on the frontiers of South Carolina. From the state of Lord Rawdon's health, it is impossible that he can remain, for which reason, although the command in that quarter can only be attended with mortification and disappointment, yet as I came to America with no other view than to endeavor to be useful to my country, and as I do not think it possible to render any service in a defensive situation here, I am willing to repair to Charlestown, if you approve of it, and in the meantime I shall do everything in my power to arrange matters here till I have your answer.
General Benestre Tarleton was a ruthless British general in the war. At the Battle of Bucksaw, the British were winning, so the Americans raised the white flag of truce. Tarleton ignored the signal, though, and went on to massacre most of the men. For the rest of the war, the American rallying cry was Tarleton's quarter, meaning take no prisoners.
General William Howe was an English leader, mainly in the beginning of the war. He was demoted after winning battles against the Americans, but never finishing them off when he could. He may have had a soft spot for Americans, even having an affair with one. He liked to party too, so Henry Clinton replaced him.
General Henry Clinton was a British leader who took over Howe's position after he continuously failed to destroy the Americans. Clinton could trace his family's military lineage all the way back to the Battle of Hastings in 1066. He didn't care about his men as much as he cared about keeping the Clinton legacy alive.
In conclusion, the American leaders were key in the war. They had a good cause and they wished to help the people. The British leaders won. In conclusion, the American leaders were key in the war. They had a good cause and they wished to help the people. The British leaders wanted fame, which only they would get at the end of the war. Well, if the Americans won, everyone in America would be a part of it. Without the leaders America had, the war would have been lost before it even started. The Treaty of Paris really changed the course of history, and we've concluded that the leadership in the battles really affected how the turnout was. Like, you know, because like all the, because you know how like all the American leaders were like really good and stuff, and then the British leaders just wanted fame and to like please their king and all that jazz, and so like it's pretty hot that the Americans won because, you know, without them we'd kind of be stuck, and we'd still be British and like, jolly good day, mate. Care for some tea, you know, that stuff. So like
Some of us would still be in Europe.
I'd still be in Europe. I wish I was, because I could eat hot tea and crumpets every day. But, you know, that's just an opinion, I guess. So, like, the leadership was pretty important, in case you can't tell from our thing. And this is our really super important stuff that we have to put at the end that's worth, like, a bazillion points. And we want an A. And we know this isn't professional, but it's the best you can do, right, Kate?
Yeah.